Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 173. In this episode, we're going to talk about Winter Wonderland, slouchy socks, and meditating, manifesting, all the things. So stay tuned. I know you won't want to miss this episode. I want to give you a heads up about a masterclass that's coming up because it's going to be all about your finances. It's not about the numbers, but here's the thing. It's going to be a couple weeks into January, and there is a reason for that. The average person quits their New Year's resolution in week 2. 2 weeks. That's all. And so, you know what? Let's move past being that average person. And I don't care if you start a New Year's resolution to fix your finances and then you quit like in week 2. Cool. You can start again in week 3 with me. So I can't wait for you to join this masterclass because it's truly not all about the numbers. I know finances often seems like, ooh, I got to do a budget. I got to crunch the numbers. Yeah, there's a place for that, but there's other ways to get around it too. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the masterclass. It'll take place the 3rd week of January. I can't wait to tell you more about it, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek to get you ready for what is coming because it's super exciting. With that, let's get to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. So today, you and me, we're going to be talking meditation, Winter Wonderland, slouchy socks. I know it doesn't sound like it fits together, but it will, so just wait for it. So I was walking in my boots with the fur, no apple-bottomed jeans. Thanks, Flow Rider. That kind of comes with boots with the fur, you know. Okay, I was walking with my boots with the fur and snow was falling. And what was supposed to be a walk that I manifested. But all I could do was be irritated with my socks, my slouchy socks, that is. My socks kept falling off my feet and I was freaking out, just getting irritated for no apparent reason. Okay, hold up. Let me tell you what happened before that point because I think it's kind of important to the story. We'll get back to the slouchy socks as I was walking in the snow in my boots or my fur boots. I spent much of the day meditating and consuming content that lifted me up. Now, that's not my usual day, but I have been more intentional about it this past week. So I digress. I digress from the point, and my dog is also sneezing like crazy in the background, so I hope you can't hear him. But it snowed during the morning time, and I couldn't or didn't want to go outside for a walk because I was meditating. And I wanted to really focus on starting a practice of meditation. Now, to be clear, I've done meditation it might be 5-10 minutes a day. There's been times where I get half an hour, whatever, but I just want to double down on meditation and self-care in 2022. So I'm starting to get ready, starting to gear up now, right? So I repeatedly had this thought in my head about walking while it was snowing. And I just thought that would be so dreamy. I looked at the weathercast and no snow was expected until midnight. So not until late at night. Kind of that was a bummer because I just, over the last couple days, there's been snow and I've walked, but I haven't walked while it was snowing. That just seemed like fun. So an hour after looking at the weather, I got an urge to go for a walk. I threw on some short socks, which I knew it was a risk. If I'm being honest, I knew it was a risk because sometimes short socks fall down off your feet, like when you're wearing boots. I don't know why that is. So if you know why that is, hit your girl up on the gram and let me know. I'm at Ordinary to Badass on Instagram. Why is that? If you wear short socks, they just start falling off your feet when they're in boots. So anyway, I thought to myself, okay, they're new socks. They're not going to fall off your feet. They're just fine. So I put on the short socks, which ended up being the short slouchy socks, and got on my way. I got out the door. As I was walking, to my amazement, snow started falling. It was so cool. I was so excited. But it was so light. Like the lightest snow you could imagine. I couldn't even tell for sure if it was snowing. I started to think that maybe snow was falling from the nearby trees or houses because it was so slight or there was so little snow. But there was a slight wind, so I was like, yeah, maybe it's just from the trees and the houses, but it looks cool. And I convinced myself, oh yeah, I'm just going to say it snowed. I'm just going to say this was my dream. It snowed, even if it's coming from the trees and the houses and stuff. Dream complete. Or that's just what I was trying to tell myself, right? So as I continued to walk, the snow came down harder and harder. I wish I could tell you that I loved every second of it. That would be the ideal, right? Because that's what I had asked for. That's what I wanted, was to just be walking while all this crazy snow was coming down. But the truth is, I didn't appreciate every second of it. Those damn short socks were falling off my feet and my boots. It was driving me crazy. It just kept going lower and lower, and you can like feel when it passes the heel point, right? And I was getting frustrated because I didn't want my socks to fall. It was irritating. So I would stop several times to fix my socks. And I was focusing on how annoying my socks were instead of focusing on the snow that was falling. And I even thought when I wasn't too far from the house, I was probably 5-7 minutes from the house, I thought about, oh, you could just turn around now, change your socks, and then there won't be a problem. And I was like, oh no, they're not going to fall again. Meh, not true. They kept on falling. Okay, eventually, after several times of fixing my socks, I thought, this is insanity. This is the definition of insanity. Because I'm doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I'm expecting that the next time my dang socks aren't going to fall down and aren't going to annoy me. Then it hit me. You were missing the very thing that you dreamt about. I began to walk. I laughed at myself a bit and appreciated a few minutes of crazy snowfall. So actually, I'm glad that I had meditated. I'm glad that I realized in the moment, like, hey, this is what you wanted. This is what you were excited for, right? Because if I hadn't, I might have missed the joy of the whole snowfall. I would have been too consumed with my socks falling and my boots and it annoying me that I wouldn't have even enjoyed the experience that I'd thought about all day long. How crazy is that? No, seriously, how crazy is that? That I was so annoyed about my socks falling down that I almost missed the whole thing that I had kept thinking about all day long. The thing that would bring me joy, bring me happiness. Are socks there, or slouchy socks there, to steal your joy? I know that sounds silly. It sounds ludicrous. Like, why the heck would your socks be there to steal your joy? That's insane, right? But that's stuff we do every single day. We let the small crap ruin our big moment, like ruin the thing we had been dreaming about. We get so caught up in the perfection of it, or like the details of it, that we almost miss the juiciness, the greatness, the joy, the fun that's going on right in front of our eyes. So here's what I finally started to think about. If my socks had slipped off or slipped down, I still had the boots on. And what could have been softer than the snow? It's not like I was going barefoot in the cold snow either. Just my socks were slipping off. In every way, I was protected. Yet I was making a big deal out of it, or making it miserable, or I was just being like obnoxiously consumed with the slouchy socks. Again, I was protected in every way. I was making the big deal. I was making things bad, or over the top, right? I was overly consumed with it. So I ask you, what are you asking for in your life? Is it possible that it's right in front of your eyes, but you're missing it? Alison Bird taught me this concept. I am no longer available for my own suffering. So I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it has been life-changing for me. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. But stop suffering over the little things. Something as small as a slouchy sock could ruin something that you manifested. Well, if you let it, that is. What are you constantly trying to fix? Reflect on that for a second, because we usually have habits and behaviors. No, slouchy socks aren't my normal habits and behaviors, but I also don't have snow here that often or wear boots that often. But what are you constantly trying to fix? While you are trying to fix that thing, you could be missing out on the goodness that you dreamed of, the goodness that you manifested. Why are you doing all of this work manifesting or thinking of the good things, dreaming of the perfect life, if you're not going to pay attention to the outcomes or the miracles that are right in front of your face? Like me. I had hoped for snow while I was walking, and there was no sign of it in the forecast, although it was on the ground already, right? But I wanted it to snow while I was walking, and there was no sign of it, and I almost missed it being so consumed with those dang slouchy socks. Okay, but here's the crazier thing. Maybe you are so concerned with the perfect conditions that you don't take a step forward, or you don't take a risk. Even when you have something soft, like snow, to land on, because you're too worried about the perfect condition. So the conditions could be perfect, but yet you miss the good stuff. Or you miss the reward because you're so focused on controlling the situation or having the perfect scenario play out in your head. You want the perfect scene, the perfect scenario, the perfect situation, and then you miss the good stuff. So, would you rather imagine the dream life or live it? That's a serious question. Do you want to just think about all the good things that could happen in your life? Do you want to just imagine it? Or do you want to really see the proof of it in your everyday life? There's so much goodness in our life. And I am realizing this all the time. But if I'm not intentional about it, if I'm not working on my gratitude and really focusing on all the good in my life, I will miss it in a heartbeat. And I've missed it a million times over. And I probably still miss it. It's like, yes, I've been focusing on it for this last year, really more intensely in the past 6 months. And I plan for 2022 to be way more intense, right? But the thought that all of this stuff is right in front of my eyes, right in front of your eyes, and we're missing it. That's so insane. It drives me bonkers. So I'm going to urge you today to take a lesson from me and my slouchy socks. Embrace the now. You are no longer available for your own suffering. And don't be afraid to be weird. Walk with your slouchy socks down, right? Or do something different than everyone else is doing. Who cares? If it makes you happy, then do it. If it is your manifestation, then, ignore small details like the slouchy socks. What you focus on grows, right? So if I focus on the slouchy socks and I focus on how annoyed I am, then that's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and I'm going to just get more and more annoyed, more and more frustrated. But if I focus on the thing that I wanted all day, like the snow to fall, then that's what I'm going to be happy about. So think of that in your life. Again, embrace the now. You are no longer available for suffering. And don't be afraid to be weird or do things differently than everybody else is doing. On the other side, guess what you might find? Pure freaking joy. Pure joy. Somehow, we've lost the joy in our lives. At least I had. I don't know. Maybe I'd like a food or something, which that sounds pathetic, but maybe I would like a food that I had, or I might like something for a moment, but then I would already be on to the next thing. And I would never experience pure joy or bliss. We only have one life. So I don't care if you're 8 months old, 1 day old, 80 years old, 100 years old. I don't care how old you are. Like, freaking, there are ways to find joy right now. And if you're not searching for it, and you're not being intentional about bringing it into your life, I don't think you're going to find it. Unless it's fleeting, right? It might be a fleeting moment. So be intentional about finding that joy and ignoring the small little irritants, the little slouchy socks, or the things that just like get on your nerves. All right. Definitely make sure you reach out to me on Instagram at Ordinary to Badass and let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think about this whole manifesting thing, or visualizing your dream life, visualizing what you want in life. Let me know what you think about those things. And do you ever get bogged down with the minor details? Because I know I sure do. And it's absolutely a work in progress. But I want to hear from you. Honestly, I don't care who you are. I want to hear from you. I want to know your opinion, your thoughts on this whole episode. Well, you don't have to talk to me about the whole episode, but like one takeaway you had, something that resonated with you, something that doesn't resonate with you. It means the world to me when you reach out and let me know what's going on with you. So either shoot me a DM or throw it in your Instagram stories and tag me at Ordinary to Badass. With that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.